We are going to make a case. And you tell me if I'm wrong. I can't wait to do this. This is going to test you. This is going to test you. Before we get going, though, 3 years ago today, we lost Kobe Bryant. I have so much respect for Kobe today, more so than I did when he played. And now I look back on his legendary career and the kind of father that he was to his entire family and the kind of man he was. Kobe Bryant makes me a better man today. He reminds me every single day of my life to tell my daughter I love her. Nothing's a given. He reminds me every day, okay, to make sure I tell my daughter I love her. And he reminds me of that. And what a legendary man. Mamba mentality. And by the way, I'll say it one more time to you. Mamba mentality wasn't formed in LA. Mamba mentality was formed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's where Mamba mentality came from. Tough, hard nose, workaholic, possessed. That's what made Bryant who he was. It's all the great ones. Most of the time, the great ones are jerks. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. You are by far one of my favorite athletes of all time. Funny, man. After the fact, I have so much respect for Kobe. I do, man. Rest in peace, brother. I mean, there'll never be another one like you. Michael Jordan's the closest, but man, Mamba mentality will live forever in my heart for sure. Please hit the like button. D Gunn will hit with us on the second hour, 4:30 Eastern time. We'll talk to our friend. I'm going to make a case for you. By the way, the legendary Peter King agrees with me. I would rather have Brock Purdy than Jalen Hurts as my quarterback for the next 3 years. Would you? I'm going to make a case here for you. And by the way, Peter King said that he'd rather have Brock Purdy than Dak Prescott right now to build a team around. I'm going to make a case here for you. Okay, hang on here. Well, Niners, okay, there's a reason though. Fly goes, here he goes. Okay, you're right, Fly. Here we go. Oh, and I saw that Frank Reich got the head coaching job. I said he'd be in Philadelphia if he didn't get a head coaching job. That was going to be a given as a consultant. But now he's the new head football coach of the Carolina Panthers. We'll have Frank on sometime over the next couple weeks here. I am so excited for my friend who's been on the show 3 or 4 times. All right. Stanley goes, here we go with the BS. Okay. I just posed this question to Tone, and I'm going to you. Would you rather have a roster like the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game? Or would you rather have half a roster and a star quarterback over on the AFC side? Those two teams don't have full rosters like the 49ers and the Eagles do. Would you rather pay a superstar quarterback and have half a roster, or would you rather pay $1.3 million to Jalen Hurts and $937,000 to Brock Purdy over the next 3 years? What would you rather have? The current Eagle team constructed? The current 49er team constructed, which are the two most complete teams in the NFL? Or would you rather have half a team and a sensational quarterback? What would you rather have? It's just a question. It's a question. I think the champion's coming out of the NFC, my friends. By the way, it's not Howie's decision. If you pay a quarterback $50 million, it's the salary cap's decision. Not true. Not true. Yale says he'd rather have Mahomes than half a team. Well, let's also put this into context too, Yale. They do have Andy Reid. They do have Andy Reid. Okay? What would you rather have? A $50 million quarterback and half a roster where you can't make moves? Or would you rather have the ability and what was you used yesterday, Yale? The flexibility. Howie had flexibility. By the way, Howie Roseman, Pro Football Writers named him Executive of the Year. He ain't no Executive of the Year if you're paying $50 million to a quarterback. What would you rather have? Half the roster. Jalen Hurts is not going to carry a football team without the full allotment of weapons. He's not Patrick Mahomes. His passing numbers aren't going to go up. He's not that guy. That's not who he is. That is not who he is. His passing numbers are not going up if you lose Jordan Mailata or you lose Landon Dickerson or you lose guys in the secondary because you can't sign them. He is not carrying a foot. Brock Purdy's not carrying a football. Do you know why the 49ers are going to be able to bring Brock Purdy back? He's on a rookie contract. Like Mike Golick said the other day, Hurts is not an elite passer. Somewhere down, he's somewhere down 8-9, somewhere in there. It's okay. You still can win. So some of you would rather have half a roster than the roster you have. That might just be the greatest Eagle football team of all time in the Super Bowl era, even your 17 team. And you'd rather have half the team but pay Jalen. That is so stupid. That is so ass backwards. You're under the assumption that Hurts is Mahomes and Burrow. He's not. He's not. He's not those guys. Those guys can throw themselves out of trouble. He can't. So some of you want to pay Hurts and then rip half your roster apart. This is where it gets funny and interesting in the offseason. Because if you pay him, you'll never be the same. If you pay Jalen Hurts, you will never win a Super Bowl. Your window is right now. And probably next year. Because just like Josh Allen's still on a rookie contract. His deal doesn't kick in until next year. You will never win a Super Bowl. Ever. When you start paying him. Let me put it to you this way. How many of those $40 million deals have worked? Yeah, you tell me how many of those 40, give me one $40 million deal that has worked. Where you're paying a guy $42 million. Give me one. One deal. Purdy's economically, you're not re-signing and giving a contract extension to Nick Bosa. You're not giving a brand new contract to Deebo Samuel if you're paying a quarterback $50 million. Kyle's right. Patrick Mahomes is the only deal that has worked at 42. The rest of them, Dak, Kyler Murray, all the rest of these $42 million deals, Carson Wentz, all those deals have not worked. But you think it works in Philly. Why? Because you have a draft guru? I had a better rookie season than Jordan Davis did. I posted it on my Twitter page. This guy had less tackles than I did. And we had to strike, so I missed games too. I had a scope, but I played. You know, back then you had to play. You couldn't take games off. I had more statistics. I posted it on my Twitter page than your boy Jordan Davis did. And I played in less games. Oh, but Howie's draft guru guy. Yeah, whatever. I had a better rookie year than your boy did. Yeah, but he's going to be a star. Okay, we'll see. I even posted I did more in 1 year in college than that guy did in 4. I almost had 100 tackles. This guy had 90 and 4. I put up a 91 tackle year in 1 year. And I played next to Jerome Brown and 3 other first-rounders. Just like he did. And we won a national title. Jordan Davis, we'll see. The great drafting of Howie, executive of the year. Okay. So you'd really rather have. Here. Let me go even further here with Purdy. I looked up the statistics for both guys. And Brock Purdy's a rookie. And in Brock Purdy's rookie year, he's 2-0. He's averaging 275 yards a game, 3 touchdowns. Jalen's averaging 205 in 2 games. He's 1-1. Where do you see the advantage? Only in his running ability, not his passing ability. Well, no, because both guys have phenomenal tight ends and 2 great pass catchers. And the other denominator in San Francisco is you have Christian McCaffrey. This is a really great game on Sunday. So over the next 3 years, what quarterback would you rather have? Financially responsible Brock Purdy? And by the way, I want to do this here. Jalen's not a better passer than Brock Purdy. He's not. He's not a better passer. Would you rather have financially responsible on a rookie contract for the next 3 years, Brock Purdy, or a $50 million Jalen Hurts, where you won't have that same team? I'd rather take Purdy. And for the record, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is not and had a better season than Brock Purdy this year. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about money. I'm talking about keeping the other guys. I'm talking about what Mike Brown's talking about in Cincinnati. Dude, you got to field the team. You got to field the team with stars. And when you put all your money, look at what the Packers did. They paid $50 million plus to Aaron Rodgers. And the first time they did that, they were under 500. Hurts hasn't earned shit. You take Purdy. Told you, I think Purdy's going to outplay him. Question, what was Brock Purdy shown you to make you say he's a better passer than Hurts? Because that's not Jalen Hurts' skill set. He's not a drop-back quarterback. Brock Purdy is. Jalen makes plays with his legs to set up play action. Jalen is a play action guy. I think Purdy throws a better football. I mean, all you have to do is watch the games. Now, Jalen's getting better. He's getting better as a passer. Every single time we talk about it, he's getting better and better. Absolutely. But to sit here and say that he's a better passer and that's his skill set's not throwing the ball. His skill set is the combined unique talent he is, an RPO quarterback. That's what he is. And just like Mike Golick said, he's probably somewhere between 8 and 9, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in the NFL right now. And I will give you this. I think he runs the best RPO of any quarterback I've ever seen in the NFL. Okay? Look, everybody has that problem. No, San Francisco and Philly doesn't. San Francisco and Philadelphia are in the NFC Championship game because they're not paying their quarterbacks a ton of money and their quarterbacks produced making less than $1 million. That's why you're there. No other reason. No other reason. The quarterbacks excelled, and the roster was more important than paying the quarterback. It's the only reason. What you got in Kansas City going this weekend? You got 2 superstar quarterbacks and half rosters. Joe Burrow has the worst O-line in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a wideout. You got everything, including the quarterback playing at high level on both teams. The reason that the 49ers and Eagles are where they are and the record they have, simple. The quarterback makes no money. And they excelled. Both. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. No other reason. All the high-priced quarterbacks in the NFC, which there's not a lot, and as a matter of fact, it's not really a deep roster in quarterbacks in the NFC anymore because they're all retired or old. All the quarterbacks are in the AFC. All the young ones. It's not that Jalen, this is not that I don't think Jalen is an exceptional player. Jalen Hurts has carried this team, and he's done a great job. End of the day, though, all comes back to money. And the least amount of money that you pay a quarterback means I could go get 2 D tackles, spend $7 million on both of them. Or I can go get a $25 million wideout. Jerry Jones tried to get Brandon Cooks, couldn't even do it. Why? Because he's got Zeke and he's got Dak. Cowboys are in salary cap hell again. The Cowboys are actually going to be worse than the Giants next year. Okay? So you'd rather have half a roster. Look at his dumbass fly. Chase, Higgins, Bates, Mixon. And the worst O-line in the NFL. Your millionaires as a unit are in the O-line, jackass. There's 5 of them, plus backups. You pay $36 million for your 2 offensive tackles. You pay $12 million for your 2 guards. And you pay $10 million for your center. Think about that. The majority of your salary cap is in your O-line. The majority of your cap, after 7 games and 2 road games, let's talk after. Hey, let's talk after Jalen wins against the 49ers on Sunday. He's 1-1 in the postseason. This guy's actually got a better record than your boy. Hey, Sills, you offer Jalen Hurts $30 million a year for 6 years, $180 million guaranteed. Eagles still flex. Bob, here's my problem with that number. You're going to throw $30 million at Jalen Hurts when the Vikings are going to throw $27 million at Justin Jefferson. You're going to pay Jalen Hurts wide receiver money? I don't know, man, if that's going to go over with Clutch. Now, I loved what you said about guaranteeing it. Dude, if you offer Jalen Hurts $30 million for 3 years, you're going to have to guarantee the entire $100 million for it to work. That he gets $100 million, because then you can restructure contracts doing that, and you could give bonuses to bring down the cap number. How you doing, Maniac? Look, it's not a diss. You're taking it this way. Purdy makes $900,000, and the Niners are in the NFC title game. Jalen makes 1.3, and they're in the NFC title game. For the record, Joe Burrow's still on a rookie contract. The guy that's really the high-paid guy, the $44 million guy, is Mahomes. Mahomes is the only $44 million guy. And he happens to have Andy Reid. I have never seen a collection of quarterbacks in conference championship games that are the least paid guys. It's the only way you're there. I've never seen it. Burrow's on a rookie deal. Kane goes, you ain't getting Hurts for 30. I agree. I'm not paying that kind of money yet. Give me a 2-year window. Because when you start paying that, now, again, if you put it in an extension, you probably still have 2 years with this roster. Hey, Tone, can you please put the super chat up? He paid $7. I don't want to miss it. I want to make sure I get it. Vet and I go back and forth here. No way Brock Purdy comes into the link to win one championship Sunday. He barely got past Stidham in Vegas. How you doing? It makes no sense. He's won 2 ball games in the postseason already as a rookie. And you think Lincoln Financial is going to shake his boots after playing the Cowboys? That's a dumb take. Every time I hear that shit, it's stupid. When you're an athlete like this and you're getting into the NFC, wow, I'm going to get rattled because somebody's swearing at me. Whatever, guy. Pay me. Whatever. I'm going to get rattled because I'm at Lincoln Financial. Give me a break. Making more of it than what it is. Both these football teams are ready to roll. And by the way, for the record, the most experienced over the last 4 years has been the 49ers. This is their 3rd NFC championship game as a coaching staff, as a unit. Get the quarterbacks different. But this is their 3rd conference title game in 4 years. You make it sound like you guys have been here every year. You haven't. You've actually sucked since 17. Let's be clear here. The Niners have been more successful. Let's be clear here. How you doing? Okay? How you doing? I mean, every year they're in the conference championship game. Whether with Garoppolo, and by the way, man, just to show you the job that Kyle Shanahan has done, dude, this guy is really a great coach. Now, he's got to win because you know what still hangs over his neck like an albatross? 28-0. He's got to win one of these. He will erase all that BS. And by the way, not just winning against the Eagles on Sunday, he's got to win a chip. He's got to win a chip, dude. Okay? He's got to win. 28-0, you know, will always hang over his head until he gets it done. I think he's a brilliant play caller. I think him and John Lynch are a great team in San Francisco. But you got to win, dude. The almost win stuff, that was Andy Reid in Philly. And to a lot of people's points, you know what they say? In Philadelphia, well, it was time, man, because you know what? It kind of ran its course and it was going nowhere else. All right. I don't think that takes wrong in Philly about Andy Reid. Okay, I don't think that take is wrong with Andy. I really don't. That dude's got to win, man. Okay? That dude's got to win. Hey, you know what's funny? People look at Brock Purdy and go, this guy's a fraud. Were you saying that about Brady when he was a 6th rounder? Or Montana, a 3rd rounder? Or Kurt Warner, a free agent? It's got to come. Remember what they were saying about Warner? When Warner was put in as starter? This has got to come back to earth. What did he do that year? He went on to win the MVP award in the Super Bowl and the regular season MVP. Crazy. By the way, this guy Purdy's going to win the Rookie of the Year award. He's not Brady. What would make you think Jalen's better than this guy, though? What has he done? This guy hasn't lost a ball game and has won actual 2 playoff games. Beating the Giants JV team at the end of the year is not significant. Beating the Giants in the playoffs is a significant game. That's Jalen's greatest moment. That's why I said he needed a Philly moment, because the rest of those games in the regular season, I'm not speaking. This is not an opinion. This is what we've watched. Watch this. Has Jalen Hurts had a great year? Absolutely. Have the Eagles as a unit? Absolutely. Have the Niners? Absolutely. They've won 11 in a row like you guys did. They've won 11 in a row. 11 in a row. And if they didn't do that stupid shit from the beginning with one play Trey, they probably would have had the best record. Well, not true, because they made the McCaffrey deal and they're 12-1 since the McCaffrey deal. It's not being rattled. It's ability to communicate offense on the field. D, you're right. D, that's a great take. That's a great take. It is. Niners, sorry about that, 12 in a row. You're right. 12 in a row. Crazy, crazy great matchup. By the way, hey, Niner, no disrespect, but I still think the Eagles win this thing on Sunday, man. And I'm going to make a point to you. CBS did what I did yesterday. Niner, I know it's 2.5. I still think the Eagles pull it out. Brock Purdy hasn't been under duress all season. I'll take 75. Philadelphia Eagles versus Purdy all day. You do that. Go ahead. Good luck. We're going to find out on Sunday, man. We're going to find out on Sunday. I'm just making a point to you. You're not – the two best rosters are in the NFC. The two best quarterbacks are in the AFC. There's no coincidence to this. What would you rather have? I'd rather have the Eagle roster than Joe Burrow. When I start having to pay Joe Burrow $50 million, you think you're keeping T. Higgins? You might be able to keep Jamar. What, you don't think Jamar Chase is going to command $25 million when his time comes? You're not. Dude, Jamar Chase and Higgins will not be teammates in 2 years. It will not. Okay? And if they ever had to pay a quarterback at Sanford, dude, hey, let me show you this. Niner. The reason that the Niners are competitive every year, the most money they've ever had to pay for a quarterback was Garoppolo at $25 million. That's the secret sauce. Brady took less money. He took less money in New England for a reason. He invested in himself. He knew he needed that. And now Brady's reaping the rewards from it. The guys who grab the big money and the big bag of money never have the same team again. Ever. Look at the Rams. The Rams went out in free agency, gave up all their draft equity. That franchise is lost. They're not relevant for the next 4 years. They don't have a first-round pick until like 27. Where are they going? I mean, hey, Yale, to this, though, hey, Sills, will you take 5 shitty years of football to win a Super Bowl? Maybe. But as a season ticket holder, man, I don't want to spend $10,000 a year on shit football for one. I want to be competitive every year. Then again, it just shows you the owners again. I mean, how important was it to the Rams to have that identity? You see the empty seats at SoFi Stadium this past year when they had that shitbag team? Nobody's there. Right? Just saying. This is an interesting dynamic here. You can't have any more polar opposites of what the NFL really is. Howie Roseman's genius is lost if he had one of those two quarterbacks. Now, that's not a bad thing to have Mahomes or Burrow. I'm not saying that, but you got to get lucky on one of them guys. Remember when Joe Burrow came out, people looked at him like Mac Jones. Yeah, am I right? When Burrow came out, they were like this. Well, he's throwing to Justin Jefferson, and he's throwing to Jamar Chase, and he's throwing to all these dudes, man. Best O-line. This guy had one of the greatest teams in history of college football. He can't be that good. Well, it turns out he is. Turns out he is. So you got to get kind of lucky on that guy. Eagles, Sills is right about the QB salaries, but he's not right about Purdy. No. Eagle, if it landed there, I never said Brock Purdy's better than Jalen Hurts. I said he's a better situation to have on your team than Jalen Hurts at $50 million. I want to make sure it lands there. I never said that. He might be a better passer. I think he is. But Jalen's an overall, all-around better football player. So make sure I land there with that, okay? I'm not saying Purdy's a better football player than Hurts. Oh, no. Okay, well, then if I did, Peter, I back it up and say I don't mean that. He's a better thrower of the football. Yes, I will hold on my guns on that. Purdy's a better thrower of the football. But Hurts is a better football player. But I'd rather have Purdy's situation on my team than Jalen Hurts at $50 million. That's where it needs to land. Yeah, well, yeah, that's your opinion, Fly. 4,000 yards, try it. Let's see if he ever gets there. He'll never get to 4,000. Jalen Hurts will never pass for 4,000 because he won't be healthy enough. Bob goes, Sills, what makes you think that Hurts wouldn't invest in himself like Brady did? Because he has Clutch Sports. They don't give hometown discounts. They don't give out hometown discounts. Okay? We're going to find out. By the way, I still haven't heard the Eagles say anything about Jalen Hurts' contract. And they've had 3 weeks to now. Let's see, is it? Yeah. They've had 20 days to say a word. It's no peep and nobody in the Philly media has asked, hey, have you guys talked about his contract? Nope. Okay. Nobody's talked about it. Oh. Brock Purdy is financially so great for the Niners. Dude, they can make him. That's why they were able to get a $20 million running back. You know, McCaffrey might be the difference in this game on Sunday. That's the guy that Howie wanted. If Howie would have landed Christian McCaffrey on that football team, man, I don't know how you beat the Eagles. I don't know how you beat them. I don't know how you beat them. McCaffrey and Jalen and Miles Sanders, okay? Hey, if they don't ask about the contract, then I won't tell. Why? Everyone else is going public with it. Don't you want to be able to tell your fan base that, look, we love this guy, and he's the future of our team? They're doing it in Cincinnati. They're doing it in Los Angeles. Anybody who's been in that 2000 – oh, wait. Miami Dolphins even said it. Tua Tagovailoa is our quarterback moving forward. They said it. He's up for a contract too. Only place they haven't said it from the 2020 draft is Jalen Hurts. Of course, Jalen's not focused on business or his future or his wealth for the rest of his life and other lives of his family. But he's just worried about beating the Niners. Sure. Okay. Because once you're a pro, you don't care. You still have the high school mentality. No, that's your coach. Okay? Wait and see. It's called the Wentz effect. Wow. So they're scared to make that same move? So what? Jalen Hurts hasn't done enough to warrant a contract extension? He hasn't? Yeah. Sounds like the organization's going down my road. Because they know when they give them the money and they make it public they're going to, that roster won't be the same. And you'll look like the Giants. No, you'll look like the Cowboys. You'll be the Cowboys. If they pay Jalen Hurts that kind of money like Dak, you'll be the Cowboys in 3 years. Getting rid of Amari Cooper, jettisoning Zeke, not having the same O-line, only strong on the left side. You'll be keeping guys. It'll be like that. Because guess what? That's what happens. That's what happens. Niners, you see, what happens here is when you start talking common sense to people and reality of how organizations work, they don't want to hear it. By the way, we're going to be getting Frank Reich on next week. So we're looking forward to it. Okay? Look at Stanley goes, Jalen's better than Dak. That's not the point. They paid him $42 million. I'm not talking about talent here. You guys have tied in that I think that Brock Purdy is better than Hurts. No. Brock Purdy has taken the 49ers as far as Jalen has, making less than $1 million. That's the beauty of the Niners. Do you understand this? Hey, Niner guy, think about this. The Niners are paying a quarterback less than $1 million. The kicker on the Eagles makes 3 times the money. And he's taking them as far as Jalen Hurts has. That's an economic. And Jalen Hurts at 1.3 has taken the Eagles as far as Patrick Mahomes has, and he makes $42 million. What's the win there? Well, I get to have AJ. I get to have Hassan Reddick. I get to have those 3 DBs. That's the advantage. Sean, I'm not picking the Niners. I've already told you since March, the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I thought they'd play the Bills, but the Bills got beat by the defending AFC champions. This Burrow kid is real. Okay? I'm talking the economics of these 2 teams, or 4 teams, I should say. There's nothing I said that's wrong. Now, you could debate whether or not you think Jalen throws a better pass than Brock Purdy. I don't. But that's okay. It's not important to the discussion. What's important to the discussion, that those 2 guys make less than kickers. And they've performed like Mahomes. That's the golden nugget here. Dak, Sills, Bart Scott says that Hurts is not a star. That's not true. Jalen Hurts is a star. That is not true. That is not true. Jalen Hurts is a star. Bart Scott, that's not true. Now, to a point here, okay, Jalen Hurts, his 154 passing yards were the lowest passing yards in a playoff game in 7 years. And if you're looking at box scores, that's where people are probably looking at it. Okay? Jalen Hurts' 154 passing yards is the lowest passing yards in a playoff game in 7 years. Okay? 7 years. And if you didn't look between the numbers and see how effective he was, then you're just making shit up. I happen to think those 154 yards, they felt like 320 yards to me. Okay? They felt like 320 yards to me. They were all effective yards. And then when they ran the ball, and by the way, the smart of the whole thing is that the organization and coaching staff was so smart. If you can run the ball for 268, I don't need to throw for 468. Okay? So you're saying trade? I'm not saying trade Jalen for nothing. For 2 first-round picks, trade CG. No, Breed, I'm saying if you're gonna have Breed, I get where you're going. I don't want to. No. This is what you are. You've built this team around him. You can't deviate now because then you'll be the Browns. I'm not. Hey, look, it's not my style of quarterback. It's not my type of quarterback. I love everything else about the kid. It's just not for me. However, this is who you are. Like in Baltimore, you need to build around him. You can't keep flipping and turning and tearing up game plans because you see a new shiny lure in the lake. You feel me? You can't keep doing that. Did you make your new Super Bowl pick? Well, only one I need to make because I still think the Eagles are going. But, man, I'm leaning towards the Bengals. We'll do that tomorrow, but I'm leaning Bengals, man. I'm really leaning Bengals. KC goes, it's a good point, and it does. Do any rookie contracts include performance bonuses? Yeah, but that's a second-round contract. Here's Jalen's contract for this coming year. You ready, KC? He's got $100,000 roster bonus and $1.3 million. That's what he has. Now, if they sign him to an extension, I think he can get the signing bonus this year, and that kind of will offset him not making that shitty money, 1.3. Okay? But then you start talking about other guys on the team. Okay? Okay? Hey, Prince, playoff win. Excuse me. Playoff win. Good way to catch it. Thank you. Thank you, Prince. In a playoff win. NFL is a biz. The restrictions in place biz first. I know this to be true. Dan is spot on. The reality of the NFL these days, reality check, not wishful thinking. You know, Fred, and I think that's why you see teams that didn't make the postseason a year ago will make the postseason this year, you know, because they like that. They call it parity. I call it shitty football. That's why there's a salary cap, because it's the only league in North America sports that cares about the shitty teams in the sport. And it's the right thing to do. You're not going to be a bottom dweller long. Dude, look at who we're talking about. The Bengals and the Jags. I've been bringing this up to you. When have you ever talked playoff football in January 2 years in a row with the Bengals? When have you ever? Those are shitty bottom dwellers. The Jags won a division. Okay? The league cares about that more than the top-heavy teams. They do everything in their power to rip. Let me tell you this. The league is going to do everything in their power to rip the 49ers and the Eagles apart next year. This is not me, guys. This is how the league works. Okay? They're going to do everything they can. Well, you're going to pay your quarterback. You have to. Well, then you pay your quarterback. Those players like CJ, like Gardner Johnson will go to the Patriots. Or he'll go to the Packers to get more money. That's how they create the balance. They rob Peter to pay Paul. That's why it's impossible. Hey, did you guys ever realize this? Yeah, look at Sway. Of course, telling half the story. The salary cap's increasing. So are salaries. Did you not see what the franchise tag is? It's $45 million. It's gone up from $39 million at the quarterback to $45.3. Salaries are going up. The cap's going up. Yeah, okay, great. So are the salaries. Shit, man. Patrick Mahomes' contract right now is outdated. Do you know a franchise tag quarterback right now is 45.3? You guys want to pay Jalen 30? It's an insult. So what? It's the same percentage of total cap? We're re-signing Bradbury, CJ, Edwards, and Hargrave. So you think you're going to pay $40 million for 2 corners. Good luck. And then turn around and pay Jalen 50. Really? See what he said there? Look at those players that he named. Dude, Hargrave's going to cost you $16 million. TJ's going to cost you $6 million, and I don't think they are re-signing him. The 2 corners are going to cost you $40 million. Then you want to pay Hurts $50 million? Where are you getting this money from? Where are you getting that money from, guy? You just put $100,000 of the $200 million. What about the old line? What about your running back? Are you going to get those guys on rookie deals? So again, you just proved my point. Your roster's different next year. You completely just proved my point. Slay makes 17 next year. I would draft a corner and move on from Slay and trade him around the draft. And I would, if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna trade Slay. I'm gonna draft a corner at 10. And I'm going to pay the other 2 guys. They're 26 and 27. The other guy's 32. Get rid of him before he's out of gas. You get rid of Slay with something in the tank so you can get equity back that's decent, like a 3rd rounder or 2. Jalen has 2 regular season wins and a playoff win against a Coach of the Year candidate. And not just wins, decisive wins. Great. So does Purdy. He beat the Cowboys in Dak, something Jalen's never done. Cowboys should have won. No, they shouldn't have, because they're the Dallas Chernobyls. Joey Porter's more of a safety, I think, Big. I think he's more of a safety. What do you think we can get for Slay? I think right now, if you put Slay on the open market in the offseason, I think you could trade him for a potential high 3 or maybe even a bottom 2. He's 32, man. How many years do you think he has left? And do you want to pay 17 when you got 2 guys you want to keep? Dude, I want to keep CJ. And if you want to pay Hurts the money, I want to keep CJ. Do you understand something? CJ Gardner-Johnson's going to be one of the biggest increases you've ever seen for a player. He makes $836,000. He's not taking shit money just to stay in Philly. Well, I'll take 10. Dude, he's going to command $16 million. He's the co-interception guy. Hey, he's a good player. He's not going to take, well, I'll take 11. That's not going to work. Bradbury got shit on by the Giants. They didn't want to pay the additional $7 million. He believes he's a $17 million corner, not a 9. He's not going to sit around for $11 million either. He's going to make commanding money. Hargrave's going to make 11-sack defensive tackle. Is going to make $16 to $17 million on the open market. And you want to pay Hurts 50. That's circling back to my point. That's why Purdy and Hurts are the exceptions. You've never seen guys play so well at such a low rate. And you need to take advantage of this as much as you possibly can. By the way, once again, I am not sitting here telling you that Brock Purdy's a better player than Jalen. He's a better situation than Jalen. Because they got to pay him. Purdy's in a rookie deal. I got 2 more years of this guy doing this, making $900,000. That's my only point. I get to keep my full roster and get this. I get to give Nick Bosa, hey, Niner, watch this. Look at Mask. If Hurts gets $60 million, you'll barely have winning seasons. The only reason you're in the NFC title game is because Jalen played MVP ball and he makes no money. That's it. Look at real. Purdy's not going to keep playing at this level. Again, that's wishful thinking. Because he has. And you got to prepare for him to have another great game. I wouldn't be preparing because people are screaming at his mother that that's a game plan. You guys think screaming at his mother's a game plan? It's not. That's not a game plan. Joseph, spectacular question. Joseph goes, can you build a dynasty today? The NFL hates dynasties. They hate them. How do you think you were able to pay for that dynasty in New England? Can you guys name me another player that they paid big money to outside of Tom Brady in the 21 years he was up there? Name me one guy. Wasn't wideouts. They never had anybody up there. And by the way, when Moss wanted big money, they moved him. Remember? They traded like a 6th-rounder from Syracuse to the Raiders to get Randy Moss up there for no money, really. And then when Moss wanted more money and his contract was up, what did the Patriots do? They moved him. Hernandez did get some money, man. He did. He got some money. It wasn't over the top, though. I would say that. No, they traded Seymour. No, T-Car. Richard Seymour wanted more money. They traded him to the Raiders. No. Not true. Not true. They traded him to the Raiders. Also, another thing, the NFL Players Association is strongly against players taking pay cuts. They believe it messes up the guys behind. Absolutely. Tone, I can't tell you how many times representatives from the Players Association will come in and go, make sure you tell your agent don't take less money because it hurts the guy coming in. This is about increasing salaries. They look down on Tom Brady doing what he did. Okay? Tom Brady hurt a lot of people salary-wise. And the NFL Players Association hated it. Won't they pay? Won't the day come when they have to pay? Absolutely, Joseph. But that day's not here for 2.5 years. Jalen could be here this year. By the way, I don't know how you don't address it if you're the Eagles. You can't let that guy walk into 2023 making $1.3 million. That's insulting, man. At least address it, do something, especially if he gets the team to the Super Bowl. How do you look at Jalen Hurts and not address that? To me, that would make me want max dollar if I'm clutch, if they don't address it and say something. Now, they could be behind the scenes. Look at Sean, Brock Purdy, Matt Castle. Well, Matt Castle won 11-5, won a division title in Kansas City, went to the Pro Bowl. I don't know, Sean. Not bad for a guy who was drafted in the 7th round by Bill Belichick. For what he was, do you know Matt Castle, Sean? Just to give you some history, Sean thought he was going to pull something out of his ass on me. That guy never started a down at USC because he had Carson Palmer there and he had Matt Leinart there. He never started a down there. He got drafted in the 7th round. Brady got hurt the year the Dolphins won with Chad Pennington, and they won 11 games with him. They won 11-5. They traded him to Kansas City. He wins a division title, gets to the playoffs, and was a Pro Bowler and signed a great contract extension. And then look at Sean, then fizzled out. Nobody said he was a first rounder. Tell you what, he had a better career than Carson Wentz did. He's got a few Super Bowl rings too. Is it worth paying Hurts if we win the Super Bowl? Yes. Yes, James. You have to. James, he wins a Super Bowl, he becomes a superstar, and then you start having conversations about him over Lamar Jackson. Okay, because he would have done something Lamar hasn't done as an RPO guy. You have to then. Then it's like Dak. It's like the Dak saga. The Cowboys got caught up in the Dak saga, and they've lost. The Cowboys are not going to be good next year. I said this in this past offseason. The Cowboys, they won games. But get this. They would have got just as far with Cooper Rush as they did with Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush was 4-1. But he makes $1 million. But you would have been able to get Brandon Cooks. You could have maybe made some more deals. That $42 million contract, am I right? Am I right, Yale? That $42 million contract, man, it's a weight around the Cowboy neck. It's a weight around their neck. Cooper Rush is better than Dak. Financially, he is. That's what this comes down to, man. This is all about finances, my friends. This is not about whether you hate a guy, like a guy. Take a look at, and again, to circle all the way back from the opening of the show. Dude, look at what you got going on. You got the two best teams in the NFC, in my opinion. Look at those rosters. I'll tell you what. Look at those rosters and coaches that are in that game versus what you got over there. Dude, watch this. There's some really good football players. The quarterbacks are great. But I'll tell you what, if I put the two teams together and I made an all-star team with the teams in San Francisco and Philadelphia versus the teams in Kansas City and Cincinnati, that team's whipping their ass, even with Mahomes and even with Burrow. Because so you have Boza and Hassan Reddick, A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, Devonta, Kittle, Goddard, Lane, Trent, Miles, McCaffrey. Come on, man. There's nothing like that over there. There's nothing like that over there. There's some good ball players that are going to be in that AFC title game, but not like in Philly. Not like that in Philly. Okay? This is going to be an absolutely spectacular football game on Sunday in Philadelphia. I think that game's got the makings of a really good ball game too because of the quarterbacks and where they're going and how young they are. But this game over here, man, you better bring two mouthpieces. Someone's going to get the shit knocked out of him. Man, that's a big-time football game. That's an old-school 49er Eagle game back in the 80s and 90s when you had Reggie and all them guys on the field and Ronnie Lott and them dudes. Seals, your type of quarterback and your style of quarterback play dictates that you will always have half a roster after a rookie deal expires. But isn't that the league today, Bob? Isn't that the league today? That's the league today. That's the league. Everyone wants to pay the franchise quarterback. I think that's a mistake. Dude, I'd rather have guys like Garoppolo and a full roster, guys like Jalen and a full roster, guys like Purdy and a full roster, than have a star player like Burrow. Well, Burrow's not sitting home. Like Allen is sitting home. The teams that are going to be in Philadelphia on Sunday, they're loaded, but they won't be once you start acting. And for the record, Paying Jalen Hurts $45 million like you pay Patrick Mahomes, you're overpaying for Jalen. He's not that guy. Just like Dak's not. Here's what you found out in Dallas. Dak's not Mahomes. You paid him like it, though. Watch this. You paid Dak like he was Mahomes, and now you're getting it in the face. Okay? Right? The Cowboys thought, well, it's market value, so we got to pay what they paid in Kansas City for Mahomes. Okay. Good luck. And guess what? Now you look back and you got buyer's remorse. Do you not? Do you not have buyer's remorse? You paid Dak when I was saying, don't pay that guy. He's not Mahomes. Don't pay that guy. You'll regret it. Sure enough, Cowboys are in salary cap hell because of that guy. And he's not a winner. I don't care what people say about him. He's not a winner. No, I'm not saying it. You got to find one of them guys if you're going to pay him. Same thing with the guy in Baltimore. How many people think Lamar Jackson can win a Super Bowl? I don't know. He's never on the field. You're going to pay $50 million to a guy who's not on the field half the time. Really? Okay, well, I wouldn't pay him. He's not durable. He's not durable. But they'll pay him. And they'll be in the same position with Dak. All right. D-Gun's going to join me at 4:30. This is going to be some football game. Also, a network has lined up every position and who has the edges. 49ers or Eagles. We'll take a look at the AFC Championship game as well. Please hit the like button. Keep it here.